Hi my lovely people. So we are about to make our fruit cake pudding. Some persons say, I don't have an oven, so I can't make a cake. No, you can make a pudding, and it's also a cake. It tastes just exactly like a cake. The difference is that one is baked and one went through the process of steaming, and that's all. It's going to give you a nice taste. Okay, so let's get started. Hello my lovely people, so these are the necessary ingredients we need for our fruitcake pudding. So you need a 200 gram of all-purpose flour, then sieve it. Yeah, we're going to show you the process, but if you don't have something to weigh it, you can use a measuring cup like this, something like this. You take it 3 of this measuring cup. Okay, so you have the all-purpose flour, you have the unsalted butter, in block form, unsalted butter. Make sure it's not a salt butter. Then you have your baking powder, your baking soda, then you have your sugar. I'm using half cup of this, or you can go with 100 gram if you can measure it. Then you have your flavor. I'm using 2 flavor here because I don't really want the cake to taste one particular, and this is banana flavor and this is vanilla flavor. So I don't just want the cake to taste this is a vanilla cake. No, I just want to have a mixed taste. Okay, this is powdered flour. You can use any brand. I'm not advertising any product here. This is 100 gram, or if you are using the measuring cup, you take it 1 full cup. Then your dry fruits. Then we are going to use 4 eggs. So let's get started. Okay, now to start, we have to melt our butter. Okay, so just melt it a little so we can whisk it. Okay, so now it has melted just a little, so we need to whisk it with our sugar. So you pour it here in a plate or a bowl, separate one, and add your sugar. Now you are going to whisk well. Okay, so only when you've achieved this consistency that you know that you've whisked it properly. I say like 7 minutes you need to whisk it. So you see, then next thing is that we need to pour our whisked egg here. So we add the 4 eggs and we whisk them properly. Now you whisk well before we add it to the mixture, After whisking properly, you now pour the whisked egg into the mixture of butter and sugar you've already whisked. Okay, so you pour everything here. Next we are to add our milk. You now have to add everything, so whisk very well. You see the milk, the powdered milk. Then baking powder, we are going to use 1 level spoon of tablespoon. This tablespoon of baking powder. Okay, this is teaspoon, the smaller one. We are going to use 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda, 1 teaspoon. Okay, next we add our flavor, 1 teaspoon of the flavor. So since I'm using 2 flavor, I'm going to divide them into 2. That's each of them will be half teaspoon of vanilla and then half teaspoon of banana flavor. So we have to add half teaspoon. This is banana flavor. I reduce it. Then vanilla, half teaspoon. So that's it. So then we whisk. So if you don't want to stress yourself that much, dilute the powdered milk in a different bowl, then you pour it here, because this will take more process of you whisking it properly. Okay, dilute it with little water, then you pour it, so it will be more easier for you. So you achieve this texture, but as I said, as a beginner you might not whisk it properly, so you have to dilute your milk with little water before pouring it. If not, the whisking will take more of your time to achieve it so smooth like this. So you need to whisk it. If you follow the first procedure of pouring and whisking without water, you need to whisk it for about 5-6 minutes. Then now we need to pour it in the sieved flour. Let's sieve our flour. We are using 200 grams, but please, if you don't have to weigh it, then you can use this measuring cup. I am using the measuring cup 2.5. Okay, 2.5 of this cup. Since we are going to sieve some out, the last one, so I added. Now, let's sieve it. So this one, you have to pour it out. The last one. Now you pour the mixture we've already whisked into the sieved flour. So we pour it into the sieved flour. Then we are now to turn it and add our dry fruit. Then it will be ready. So you need to turn it very well, and when you achieve this consistency, then you now need to add your dry fruit. Let's add some dry fruit to this. So we are adding our dry fruit. Remember, what we are making is fruit cake what pudding, so there need to be fruit. So not so well. So looking at the batter, it has a drying texture. You can see that's why I'm raising it for you to see. Now it's ready for us to put it into the bake pan. Then we steam it. Okay, so you need to achieve this texture. You can see that's fine. Okay, now as we are boiling water that we use and steam the cake and do the pudding, we need to rub butter around this cake pan in order to make it free for the cake to come out when it's done. Okay, so we need to take some butter with our brush. You buy this baking brush, use it and rub it all around. Please don't forget forget this process. So if not, your cake will not come out unless you want to eat the cake in the pan. Okay, so once we finish applying the rub, now it's time for us to scoop in the batter, that's the mixture of the cake, in here. So you just try to level it up. I'm actually using a bigger cake pan because it's not necessary you have to use a small one, okay? Because when it rises, it's going to get here. So you can use a smaller one as well if you have. But if you don't have, it doesn't mean anything. So next, for you to pour your boiled water into the pot, then you take the cake in. Now the level of the water needs to get middle of this cake pan. The middle, you see my hands, this is where it needs to stop, okay? Because we are not going to cover the cake pan, but we are going to cover the pot. So middle, good to go. Let's do that. So once it gets to the middle, I stop. So now you cover to cook on a medium heat. Please do not open this pot till the next 30 minutes. It's going to cook for 1 hour, but it's only 30 minutes that this cake must have set very well before you open it, so you will not spoil it, okay? So you can check how the cake is cooking in the next 30 minutes. So we'll come back in the next 30 minutes and check it out. Okay, so after 30 minutes, let's check. So this is it. You can see the cake. So we close it again. So 30 minutes. So now our cake is ready, the pudding. You bring it out freely, you see, because we applied butter on the baking pan before putting it. Wow! This is our cake, fruit cake pudding. You see, it's ready. You can see, golden brown. It's just the same like you baking the cake. But the difference is that we steamed it. Wow, wow, you can see. So you can actually make a cake without an oven. Thank you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and also you can dim for training, proper training.